And welcome to this edition of ACAP Today for the week of November 9th, 2020. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's broadcast, we're going to speak with two ACAP Career Counselors about the Young Workers Academy that they've launched here across Aroostook County. We're going to talk with Mary Duff and Sophia Crouse in just a little bit, but before we do that, we're going to get to the news and information that you can use for this week of November 9th, 2020. And so we begin in our ACAP Today news segment by first saying a sincere thank you to all of our veterans out there. This week is Veterans Day, and we want to certainly thank our veterans who have served for their courage, dedication, obviously, and hard work, and most importantly for your sacrifice. As we just come off the heels of an election, we are reminded that our freedom is not free, and it is to the credit of our veterans that we are able to vote in an election like we did last week. So again, thank you to our veterans this Veterans Day week. Another round of appreciation that we want to extend this week are to the folks at the Maine Community Foundation that just recently provided ACAP with another grant to help in our COVID response. This is the third grant that we've received from the Maine Community Foundation since the COVID-19 crisis hit. We will be dedicating the dollars to support families with young children in need through the COVID crisis. And we thank Maine Community Foundation greatly for their continued support of Aroostook County families and of the work of the Aroostook County Action Program. We couldn't do it without partners like the Maine Community Foundation, so we extend our appreciation. We also, in the last week, learned of Governor Mills' executive order around face coverings and also the requirements to limit to 50 gatherings here in Aroostook County and across the state. And so ACAP, in response to this, has free cloth face masks, as Gloria is demonstrating in the picture on your screen here. We will have them available in our Presque Isle facility. That's the one near Walmart at 771 Main Street, at our Holton Military Street facility, and at our Fort Kent facility in the industrial park. We encourage any individuals who would find it a financial hardship to otherwise purchase masks to please stop by either one of those locations. Please do note that the locations are locked to the public, but there are video doorbells or other means, a phone number in both Holton and Presque Isle that you can call upon arrival that's prominently displayed on the building that you can call, and we will make sure that we can access those masks for you. So please do, if you are in need of a mask, we don't want you to be impeded from going into a grocery store or in public in other ways if you do not have a mask. So please do reach out to us if we can help in that way. Again, they are free and are meant for folks who would otherwise have a financial difficulty of obtaining masks. This is one of the signs that I referred to. This is the sign outside of our Presque Isle office. There's a similar one outside of our Holton office with a phone number. Please do call us for service when you arrive, or do go to the door at each of the facilities for us to be able to help you in that way. We are offering all of our services, or most of our services, by appointment, phone or virtually, and with access to buildings for individuals in Presque Isle and in Holton as well. So please do reach out and connect with us as you need assistance. As we explained last week, the COVID-19 rent relief program has been reopened for the months of October and November, and with the expectation of funds, if they are still there, the month of December as well. You can apply now for funding for October if you were unable to pay your October rent and have been unable to pay your November rent. Please do reach out to us, 764-3721. We'll get you into the directory here at ACAP, and you can select housing and then the rental assistance program. You can also go directly online at mainehousing.org/COVID-rent and complete the application there. Select Aroostook County as your service area, and we will get that application electronically. Please wait at least 5 business days before you follow up on your application, as we are processing a high volume of applications in this next round. Again, we hope that there will be funding available for December as well. And please do note that this rental assistance are for households that are still impacted or currently impacted by COVID-19 economically. So if the work situation has returned for your household, you will be deemed ineligible for this program. But if you are still impacted, if your household income is still currently impacted by COVID-19, this program is for you. Speaking of programs that are for you, our Navigator program, which our navigators are actually working on the rental assistance program at this time. But if you are in need of assistance, are in need of help and uncertain where to turn, our Navigator program is there for you. Please do call us 764-3721 and connect with a navigator if you are in need of assistance. They know different programs that are available both within our agency and outside of our agency and are here to help families and individuals that are experiencing hardship at this time. Our Community Coats project is another one of those projects that we have available for folks in need. It's a 24/7 opportunity at our Presque Isle 771 Main Street facility. Just out in front of our building, we've built a little sheltered area where we have coats on the outside of that sheltered area and clothing on the inside in the community closet. It's available 24/7. You can leave a coat or leave clothing in that portion in front of our building at any time, or if you are in need of clothing or a warm winter coat, please do feel free to help yourself to what is available. It's on the honor system and there's no payment required. And again, we encourage folks to leave donations of clothing or coats there or take them as needed. Right across from that area is our community cupboard. We also have a community cupboard inside of our facility and just inside of the Holton Military Street facility. And we encourage folks to use either of those or ones located across Aroostook County. There have been other communities like Madawaska at the Public Library, Mapleton, Mars Hill, Washburn. Many communities have followed our lead with establishing community cupboards. We have established a Sponsor of the Month program for our cupboard here at 771 Main Street in Presque Isle, which is very heavily used and has been more heavily used through the pandemic. And we thank heartily Gallagher Insurance for stepping up as our partner of the month, our sponsor of the month for the community cupboard this month, the month of November. Our housing team is looking for qualified organizations to bid on our weatherization services, both to provide those services, but also to provide materials for those services. So if you are a contractor or know of a contractor who would like to have additional work doing weatherization of homes across Aroostook County or in a specific region of Aroostook County, we want to hear from you. We also want to hear from you if you are a provider of building materials and would like to bid on having a contract with us over the next year to provide building materials for our weatherization contractors. Please do contact Randy here at ACAP at 768-3023 or housing@acap-me.org, and we will make sure to get the proposals out to you so you can respond and get us your bid. Our tobacco education and tobacco cessation programs are available to county businesses and individuals across Aroostook County. This sign is a sign that we are able to provide free of charge to businesses and organizations who work with us on developing tobacco policies within their workplaces. Please do reach out to us. Chastity Holland is the contact person to get started with us on this. All businesses should have a tobacco policy, and we provide the service free of charge and can even get you signs like this one provided at no charge. Next, we want to remind individuals that our home energy assistance program, the 2020-21 season is well underway. We've provided over or nearly 4,000 households their applications as of this point, with a goal of serving hopefully over 6,000 applicants this year. Please do note that our income guidelines have expanded in the last 2 years quite significantly. We estimate that at least a couple more thousand Aroostook County households may be eligible for the home energy assistance program under the new guidelines. We are booked through the early part of next year in most locations at this point, but we encourage you to call us, as any benefit that would go on your account at your fuel vendor would stay there for 18 months or until it's fully utilized. So getting an appointment even in February or March for the home energy assistance program is well worth it. And we just want to remind folks that we are doing all of our appointments, unless you otherwise request or specify, again, otherwise, via the phone this year to help individuals to stay safe during COVID-19. So please do reach out to us at 764-3721 if you think you might qualify and would like an appointment with the home energy assistance program. We also are currently taking appointments for the open enrollment period for the Marketplace Health Insurance Navigation Program. If you are without health insurance, please do give us a call. If you've been impacted with your employer or have been laid off because of COVID-19, please do contact us. We can also help navigate you through Maine Care, through to Maine Care, and to determine if you might be eligible for Maine Care and get that process started with you. Stan Targonski is our local healthcare marketplace navigator. He's offering his services remotely. If you are unable to connect with a computer and want to come for an in-person appointment, Stan will connect with you remotely through the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center in Presque Isle. Please do give us a call and we'll make arrangements. Open enrollment runs through December 15th, 2020, so now is the time to apply. Unless you have a qualifying condition in the remainder of the year, it's not just anything that you can get into at any point in the year. So now is the best time to apply and the easiest time to get into the health insurance marketplace without some kind of a qualifying concern. And finally, in our news and information you can use segment, the Helping Hands for Warm and Safe Homes Telethon is coming right up. It's on November 19th, 2020 from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. on WAGM TV in partnership with the United Way of Aroostook and our agency. We are very excited to launch into this year's telethon to help provide individuals who are in need of emergency fuel assistance over the next year the opportunity to call us and to get help with that in that regard. This year, we're also pleased to announce that our HEAP staff will be on standby, and we will be taking any individuals who have not previously applied for the Home Energy Assistance Program or are not currently in our schedule this year, and taking them on a first come, first served basis that year to do an on-the-spot application for the program that we will do remotely with you over the telephone. More information to come on the ACAP Today broadcast leading into the Helping Hands for Warm and Safe Homes Telethon, and stay tuned to WAGM for more information as the date approaches. And with that, that's this week's news and information you can use. I'm pleased to welcome to the program two ACAP Career Counselors, both of whom are working with youth in different parts of Aroostook County. First, Mary Duff down in our Holton office at the Military Street facility. Mary, welcome to ACAP Today.
Thank you, Jason.
And Sophia Crouse, who works here out of our central Aroostook location, but also serves customers up into the St. John Valley as well. And Sophia, welcome to your first ACAP Today.
Thank you, Jason.
All right, so before we get into the Young Workers Academy, Mary, over the last, couple of months anyway, I've been talking on this broadcast about the workshops, the work sessions that you've been offering, you and other colleagues across the state who are part of Maine's Workforce Collaborative have been offering through and in partnership with the local workforce boards. I'm going to bring up a slide about that, but tell me about how that's been going and what your role has been in that.
ACAP's role, actually we're offering and providing 2 workshops a month. One that I'm conducting on a monthly basis, once a month. It's an information session that's provided to statewide area job seekers regarding workforce development programs and Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act programs. That has been going very well. Typically, when we're doing the workshops, individuals, we're seeing around maybe 83 job seekers attending those sessions or more per session. ACAP is Workforce Development is also providing the resume and cover letter development workshop, seeing roughly about 30 job seekers participating in that at any given time. And that particular workshop is looking at the development of a resume, what goes into a resume, providing that information, as well as what goes into a cover letter, how should I write one, and those PowerPoints for both of those, for the information session and the resume and cover letter development session, are sent out to those job seekers who attended those workshops. You can find those workshops on the Maine Career Center webpage under training, and job seekers can look and see what's provided each month and get themselves scheduled for any one of those workshops that are provided.
That's fantastic. That was my next question. How can you get in touch with folks on that or get signed up for them? And it's through the Maine Career Center website.
Yes, it's mainecareercenter.com. And by clicking on the training or find training, you'll see a complete list of all workshops that are provided on a monthly basis.
Excellent. Thank you, Mary. We're going to catch up now with both you and Sophia on this next topic, which is our feature topic for today's interview, and that's the Young Workers Academy. And Sophia, tell us about this program. What's the thought behind it, and where are you at with the program, and how are things going?
Things are going way better than Mary and I expected. We have 7 young adults currently in our program, and yesterday we completed our first week of the Young Workers Academy, and it went pretty smoothly. We had a lot of involvement throughout the Young Workers Academy, and we are not accepting any more young adults into the academy at this time, but we will be creating another Young Workers Academy to start. Right now it's 9 to 12, but we may be switching the times up a little bit. I'm not too sure. So basically with our Young Workers Academy, we're trying to teach these young adults about just skills to have in a workplace or basically anywhere in general. We help them learn. We'll be working on communication. We will show them how to write a resume. We will be having actual employers come in and have an employer panel so that they can talk to these young adults and maybe tell them what kind of jobs they have available for them in the future. And we'll be having some college counselors come in from NM, Fort Kent, and UMPI, and they will be talking to the young adults about some programs they have at their schools. And we will also we're doing work experiences with these young adults. So not only are they getting paid to come to our class 2 days a week from 9 to 12, we also will be paying them for up to 34 hours in a place of work that they have interest in, whether it be the library, a grocery store. We just kind of find them a place that would be a good fit for them.
Sounds really exciting. Mary Duff, what was the sort of the thought behind this? How did we get to this exciting program, and what are we hoping to accomplish with it?
Well, I think it's rather unique for us. We're always looking at new and innovative ways to reach our job seekers, and particularly youth. Our thoughts centered around the Young Workers Academy, and when we developed the curriculum, was to look specifically at they have unique needs compared to our adult population that we serve. And I mean, many of them have not been employed before in the workforce. So therefore, we're looking at what do we need to do to better prepare them to explore the world of work, or also their occupational interests, and be that going to work for the first time or going on to college, helping them form and develop a plan that will help ease them into the world of work, but also looking at those key employability skills that are necessary for all job seekers and employees. These are skills that employers are looking for in employees. So I think when we were looking at developing the academy, those are the thoughts that we had in mind.
Now, Sophia, in your opening answer, you talked about the fact that you're already enrolled at this point for this academy, and it's already underway. But for youth out there, and this is the 16 through 24 age range, youth out there that are considering, gosh, I might be interested in this. Number one, it's not going to be the only opportunity that they have to get into it, and it's also not the only opportunity that they have to engage with us if they're a youth looking for assistance in workforce development. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. If they're interested in joining the program for the next session, they can reach out to Mary and I, and we can add them to a list. And if they just want help looking for a job in general, they can contact Mary or I, and we could set them up with either work experience or just help them fill out job applications.
And tell us about that program, because that's we have workforce development at ACAP. ACAP has been a workforce development provider for many, many years. And there are two categories, and you're the individual who sort of is our youth Workforce Investment Opportunity Act, I guess it's called. You work specifically with youth. So tell us about that program and what it's geared for.
So I work with youth in school and out of school, ages 16 to 24, and we help a lot with training costs. We deal a lot with, we work together with adult ed and help with the cost of like CNA training and the CDL course through NMCC. People reach out to us because they just don't have the funding to pay for the course, and that's something that we can support.
Great. Now, Mary Duff, both the Young Workers Academy and the work that you do in workforce development, we're talking a lot about, but I've heard you both mention, we're talking a lot about the individuals that are served, but really there are strong connections that you have with the higher education community and certainly the workforce, the employers themselves. How is that all playing into the mix in the Young Workers Academy?
We actually, we are working with local adult eds who have made referrals to us for the Young Workers Academy. And we're relying on employers to participate in the program to actually make that commitment for 8 weeks or 12 weeks to provide that training at no cost to them, but to provide that supervision and assist the young person with development of skills while on the job, looking at those good work habits and attitudes, reliability, and their communication skills, but also to provide some of that skills training while they are working with that employer.
Great. And Sophia, I imagine that the goal at the end, certainly in addition to the wonderful opportunity to be better workforce prepared, is to try to connect individuals to actual employment, correct?
Yes, that's why we do the work experiences, because once they're done their 8 to 12 weeks, the employer could offer them the job potentially, which is really nice.
Great. Now, is the work experience that you're matching folks up with, is that consistent with what they're expressing an interest in? And how are you working with them through that process of maybe determining what career might be right for them?
We kind of sit down with them and see what they're interested in. If they're shy, then the grocery store might not be the right fit for them, but maybe a library would be a good fit.
Great. And
so we kind of work with them to see what they want to do. We wouldn't place them somewhere where they have no interest in.
And what are you finding with, what is it, the 7 individuals that you're sort of in your first Young Workers Academy? They're from across the Aroostook County. And their interests are varying as well?
Yes, they are varying a lot. Yeah.
What are you seeing, Mary, in terms of participants and how you're matching employers up with participants?
Well, actually, what we're doing initially is what we consider to be an interest inventory to sort of help them through that process of and the start of career development for them and decision-making skills. But we're seeing that their interests, it's varied. Some are wanting to work in retail. Some are wanting to work specifically in childcare to learn more about and explore the world of daycare, or actually facilities that like Head Starts programs. And we have a few, I think, in Sophia's area that are looking at maybe the clerical field or administrative assistant. So it's varied. But I think we're helping them to arrive at that decision by doing that initial assessment with them and then reviewing that and giving them some options and looking at the local labor market.
Great. So if I'm a youth out there and I'm thinking, gosh, this sounds like a really great opportunity, I might want to call Mary or Sophia and get on the list for the next Young Workers Academy, or maybe call Mary or Sophia and access some workforce development services now. In addition to being a youth age 16 through 24, what are the other eligibility guidelines for both engaging in the Young Workers Academy or in workforce development services for youth? Sophia, maybe you want to take that one, or Mary?
Do you mean like how can they qualify?
Yeah, what other qualification other than being age 16 through 24? Are there income guidelines? How just help folks understand should they call?
There's a lot. If you're out of school, it's kind of more lenient because if you're out of school, if you're a dropout, you qualify. If you're homeless, you qualify. If you have been in trouble with the criminal justice system, you qualify. And then within school, it's kind of, you have to be low income and something else. Do you want to add to that, Mary?
The best way to describe it is there's different criteria for both the in-school and the out-of-school program. But what I would encourage any youth who is interested is not to rule themselves out. Actually, it's that direct contact with a career counselor that can provide that information and then start that initial screening process.
Now, Mary, we were talking a little bit before we started recording, and you were noting that not only the Young Workers Academy is you're utilizing some of the strengths of ACAP's other programs and some community partners. And certainly, I think that's true with all that you do in workforce development. You are able to sort of look comprehensively, as we are as an agency these days, about what other supports that we can provide. So talk about that for a bit.
When we're looking at any individual who's coming into our programs, be them adult or youth, we are doing an application with them, but also we're entering into a conversation with them about their personal situation, and then what other types of services that ACAP might provide that we can possibly link them with. And it actually may be family coaching, or it may be directly assisting them with making an appointment for fuel assistance, or COVID, the rental relief program, and how to apply for that. So we're making those initial connections with them when we're first meeting them, and even over the phone, trying to provide any additional services that ACAP has to provide to that individual at that time.
Great. And Sophia, Mary mentioned COVID, and it's hard not to think about COVID because it's very present in all of our lives these days. But the Young Workers Academy itself, with obviously the exception of the work placement, and I imagine all protocols are being taken within workplaces to be as safe as possible, but the academy training sessions are being offered online, correct?
It's all online, yes.
Great. So safety first, as we've all been practicing. What have we missed in this conversation that you want to, as a takeaway, that you want folks to really understand and know about this program?
I'll speak for myself, and maybe Sophia will agree that I think we encourage area youth to give us a call, and to explore the opportunities that are available through the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act and ACAP Workforce Development, and also to have a discussion about the Young Workers Academy. It may be a great fit for them. And it's certainly the curriculum that has been developed is we've explored all options for an individual that they may need to consider in order to enter the workforce and to move forward on a career ladder.
Great. Sophia, anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I agree with Mary. She's covered most of it.
Great. Well, it's been great visiting with the two of you. I will let you add one more thing though, Sophia, and that's how folks can get in touch. I'm going to bring the slide back up on the screen about the Young Workers Academy. And even though the current session again is at capacity at this point and already underway, I just sort of tell us how folks can get in touch with you if they want to get on the list for the next one, or if they want to connect with you about youth services for workforce.
Mary and I can be reached at that email right at the bottom, the YW Academy at acap-me.org, or you can call ACAP and go to Workforce Development.
Yeah, just click on Workforce Development, and you can do that at either the Presque Isle, Madawaska, or the Holton office. The extension or the prompt will be there to connect with Workforce Development, and we have folks that will take those calls at certainly our Holton and our Presque Isle offices, and our Madawaska office rings right into our Presque Isle office these days, and Workforce Development team here. So please do take the opportunity to connect with Mary or Sophia or our workforce development team. If anything that you've heard in this broadcast, and the same is true for adults, we've been talking about our youth services in this broadcast, but the adult Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act or Workforce Development Services are available for adults as well. And you'll maybe spend another broadcast talking about those services. So for now, I want to say thank you to Mary and Sophia for joining me on this edition of ACAP Today. It's been great having you both.
Thank you, Jason, for having me.
Thank you, Jason.
And before we leave you today, we want to remind you to keep in touch with us, whether it's to connect with us about the services that we've spoken about as it relates to the Youth Academy, or whether it's to connect with us about some other service. We certainly want to encourage you to stay in touch with us. Our phone number, as we've mentioned several times throughout this broadcast, is 764-3721. You can connect with us at acap-info at acap-me.org, or you can also connect with us via Twitter. We are now on Twitter at ACAP is our handle. We've made that journey across and over to Twitter, as this slide that I'm bringing up on the screen now will tell you. There's the information there. I know Sherry and Becca are actively monitoring our Twitter account as our Facebook account. Certainly look us up on Facebook as well. A lot of great information there. And finally, before we leave you, as we do each week, we leave you with our snapshot of the week. Meet Meg is our snapshot this week. This is Meg Hegman, our Prevention Services Manager, and she's sharing a new children's book titled Breathing Makes It Easier. And by breathing makes it easier, we mean we can all take a deep breath with all that's happening in our country, with COVID, with elections, with all of the challenges we're facing right now. Certainly breathing makes it easier. And so Meg, as part of her work with the Drug-Free Aroostook program, is in the process of distributing copies of this book to libraries across Aroostook County. So we thank the libraries for their partnership in helping us get this particular book into the hands of children across Aroostook County. And we thank Meg for her efforts on that as well. And lastly, we thank all of you for joining us on this week's edition of ACAP Today. We'll be back next week with a brand new webisode, and we hope you join us then. Talk to you later. Bye.